tonight I have as good as chance as I'm gonna have of getting him shot. Yeah. I don't know, man. I am nervous. I know that. We made it to the blind. We are set up. I am a nervous wreck. So, this is the biggest deer I've ever had the chance to hunt. Anyway, he was right here in front this morning in this corn. Super nervous tonight. I don't know. It just seemed like the conditions are pretty good, for one. And two, like a few things lined up today at work where I thought we were going to be super busy with the bricklayers. And we didn't end up being that way unless it happened after I left. So if it did, Ed and Jason, I'm sorry. But I was able to get out here and hunt. So like I said in the truck, this deer was here this morning. I almost hit him a couple days ago with my truck about a mile away from here. And I just happened to text the guys and tell them today, I'm like, this deer comes through here at night at like 11 o'clock. He's bedding across the road where it's hard for me to hunt. And I'm just not going to get him. I think this deer's bedded right down here on this hillside in front of us. There's no way he went very far being here at 8:30. Or at least I wouldn't think. So I would think tonight I have as good as chance as I'm going to have of getting him shot. Yeah. I don't know, man. I am nervous. I know that. So I'm going to get off here, get everything ready, and make sure I've got all my stuff. I shot my bow a bunch at the house. Everything's dialed in. I should be a 40-yard shot under up here where I'm at. I had this deer so close early season. Not early, but in October. And I thought, like, I just knew I was going to get him. He was just right there. 15 yards, and I didn't get him shot. And I've just been waiting. So here we go. It's the day after Christmas. And we'll see what happens. I just had 3 more come out down there too, so it's only like 3:45, maybe 3:50, so things are looking good. Meh. Falling low. Gosh darn it. Hit him low. We're back here, back to the spot. It has been 4 hours, maybe 4.5. I don't know. I'm not sure what to think. We're all split on decisions. Chase is here, Rector's here, Miller's here, Ethan's here. I don't think we're going to find them. They're feeling a little more confident. The shot looks like the top of the blade's probably up. The broadhead goes in straight up and down. We're probably, best case scenario, 4 inches above the brisket. Looks like it goes right beside the leg, which there is arteries there, and then it blows on through and out the other side. Now, I did go find my arrow once I got out of the blind. I didn't film it. And there was a bunch of blood where the arrow would come out. So we're going to start there, ease down through 100 or 150 yards, and see what's there. And maybe we'll get lucky and find him. All I know is I'm super nervous. So we'll see what's up.
It's going right where we thought he would. It's leading on both sides. Mm-hmm. Oh no, Maury opened up really big.
He's walking now.
He's opening up, or he's walking really slow or something.
Right here. Right here.
He obviously flew down the hill running. The blood was okay, and then got a little better. Now it's a lot better. So we're gonna go a little ways more and see what we. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know what I feel. So we're just gonna keep going. These guys made me leave last night in the dark instead of finding this deer. Now they won't be quiet. Anyway, so we tracked this thing 660 yards last night. Lots of blood. We knew we were pushing him. He bedded 3 times. We were trying to just push him until we killed him. He got over on the neighbors. We had to leave him there until we got permission this morning. So, of course, it started raining and snowing middle of the night, so we're not having much of a trail. But where he went, we did the right thing by pushing him, because we got him pushed out of our timber and over into this little draw. Maybe we pushed him, maybe we didn't. Maybe he was already in front of us. I don't know. But the deer never ran. He was walking the whole time. So we're going to see. Obviously, I hit something besides meat right there where that arrow went in. And we're going to go over here and see if we can run into him. All right, so we are down searching. He wasn't laying right where we hoped he'd be, so we're all splitting up now. But there's some big terraces here. Miller and I's gonna walk down these terraces and look, and then go back up where we found last blood last night. There he is. There he goes right there. See him?
I do. Hang on. Was that definitely him?
Yep.
I got Jace. Hey, you just pushed him over the hill. We saw him. Yep, stop. Come right back up to us. All right, see ya.
All right, guys. We have reconvened the bread trail after lunch here with some dry clothes. We're all split up. Dad and Chase are down the draw looking down there. I actually got over here and ran back into blood. It finally quit raining. We've been pushing this deer all morning. We had to shut the cameras off. It was raining so hard for quite a while, but we've just been running him, pushing him and pushing him. That's the only thing you can do with a hit like this. We must be in the artery in the front leg, I guess, but there's just blood. I mean, just as fast as you want to walk through the woods, there's blood. You can see it down there by my boot, up through there. So I don't know. I hate to push him, but I just think there's just blood everywhere. I just think that's our only option. I don't think we're gonna get, man, there's another giant body. I mean, it's just like that. All right, we just got everybody back together. We got down here below where Dad and Chase found the deer at. I have not seen the deer yet. So we got Tyler's dad, Leland, my dad's on a four-wheeler, and we're all heading up here. We're gonna check him out.
I see horns. Oh, he's bigger than I thought he was. Holy cow, dude. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Titus didn't even get it.
What a emotional roller coaster. That is a deer. That's a big one. Wow. It's been a roller coaster hunting this deer, and I thought I had him in the bag 2 months ago, and he come to that decoy and it just didn't pan out, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for him to come to the food, and he just never would show up, and I got kind of whiny about it. And then once I sent out my whiny message as a group text, there he shows up on a hot doe at 8:30 in the morning, and I slid in there last night and did not make a good shot. I replayed it in my mind last night. I know what I did. He was 33 yards, and I was floating my 30 and 40 yard pin, and I didn't. I was floating my 20 and 30 because I remember having the red pin buried on him, and my 40 is green, and it should have been on his belly. And anyway, I hit him low. We'll look at that later. But anyway, it's been a typical wild goose chase / goat roping / turkey shoot. I don't know, but we've pushed him and pushed him and pushed him all night. We jumped him this morning, kept pushing him through the pouring rain, changed clothes, drank coffee, got back after him. At one point, we jumped him literally 75 yards from the front door of my house. Kept going, and just I can't thank everybody enough for helping. I've had Dad out here, and Tyler, and Matt, and Chase, and Ethan, and my neighbor Mike let me on this farm. Neighbor Mark let me on his farm down there, following him around. And it takes definitely takes a community to make it happen. But the blood trail coming down through here is just incredible. We can talk about that later, but that is just a absolute giant 4-year-old whitetail. All right, guys, well, here we sit behind the reward for a long couple, well, not a couple of days, but let's just say a long 20-hour period. So, you know, we were in the woods earlier. I've been kind of speechless with this whole thing. I've had weird, crazy emotions with this deer. I've had weird emotions hunting him. I wasn't going to shoot him. I was going to let him go early in the year. Then he
come out and come to the decoy, and then I decided when he was coming I was going to shoot him, and I just knew for sure it was going to happen that night with the way he was acting, and it didn't. So then I've just been waiting. He's been gone for, I don't know, probably 6 weeks. Then he showed back up. He was only there at night. Then I was kind of written it off because I knew I was clear on the outside edge of his home range. That was the problem, right? Like I'm as far away from his home range as I could have got. And I had Christmas yesterday. I had work yesterday. I just had a lot of stuff going on. Or I guess, yeah, it was yesterday. Had a lot of stuff going on and just wasn't sure I was going to make it happen. So I just had a ton of anxiety over it. But anyway, I was able to get there. I got in the blind. Got everything set up. I actually had everything charged, ready to go for once, was prepared 100%. I should have known things were going to go south from that point, because that is not me. Anybody that knows me knows I'm never prepared all the way, and I'm never 100% ready to go, and I'm always late. I'm never early. I didn't think I even hit him with my naked eye. I thought I just clipped him. So I watched the camera back, realized I hit him. Was it fully expecting just to go out there and get my arrow and there just to be hair on it and a little bit of muscle blood. Well, when I got out there, which I didn't film it then, the blood was like 10 foot long, like a spray. And I thought, there's no way I caught that artery in his front leg, but maybe I did. So usually I shoot a XXX, so a rear deploying. And this year I'm shooting these new ones. They're a front deploy when it comes out on impact. And I think that was a big deal on this deer. I think that really helped me out. So, as the story goes on, we went out there, found the blood, headed down the hill. Once he quit running after the initial shot, the blood trail was fantastic. It went as fast as you wanted to walk it everywhere we went that night. And we walked probably 200 yards, and we found where we thought we jumped him. We'd found 3 beds. They were older. We thought we jumped him out of this one. And at that point, we were all arguing with each other about, well, we need to let him set all night. We need to not go after him, not push him. Well, I've had a lot of experience with this in my life with the guys. I've never made this shot before, but I know people that have. And the whole key to it is you got to push them, because it's a low vein or artery hit in their leg. When they're bedded down, it doesn't bleed. When they're up walking, they bleed like a stuck hog. So we pushed him as much as I could get the guys let me push him. They started not even following me anymore on the blood trail because they knew we were doing the wrong thing. I knew I was right. I knew they were wrong. Anyway, they made me stop. The biggest mistake we made that night was I didn't call my neighbors before I went looking for the deer, because he was 600 yards from the property line. Well, he went over on my neighbor Mark's, which I knew without a doubt Mark would let me go, but I did not want to go without asking him, because he would not ever go on us without asking me first. So we had to back out. Well, we thought he'd be laying there in that draw the next morning. I got a hold of Mark. We went in there. Well, it started pouring down rain all night. It was a train wreck. We get in there, and as you can see, Matt and I's doing an interview, and he just pops up 200 yards away across the hill. So at that point, we decided we need to go there and see what he was doing, see where he was at. When we got up there in the pouring down rain, there's blood. As soon as he took off out of that bed, there was blood across the muddy field everywhere. A lot of that's not on film because it was absolutely pouring. So we trailed him probably 200 or 300 yards that time, and we had him. He was right across from my house. We got on him in there, still pouring down rain. He gets up and gets away from us. So now we're on the blood again, and then that's where you get back into my interview there where I'm trailing him through the woods. I mean, the blood was incredible, but the thing to learn here is every shot's different. And if you hit one in the body cavity, you need to almost always back out and let them lay overnight and give them time. But on a shot like this, where it's just a vein hit or an artery hit, we could tell when he bedded down there wasn't much blood. It was sealing it off. But there is times where you just have to push them, unfortunately. I mean, you can't let the deer lay out there and suffer. You can't quit following the deer when there's blood just because you think, well, he's not going to die from it. And we did our due diligence and pushed through them. We went on 2 neighbors. Both of them let us go. Rector not gridded it, but did it on hunt stand last night. It was 1.5 miles total where Dad and Chase found the deer. So, just a wild season for me. Lots of emotions yesterday, lots of emotions being busy at work and just trying to decide what to do with this deer. And, I just can't thank everybody enough for helping me out, from the guys to my family to the neighbors to just everybody being on the same page most of the time. And anytime you get a great area anywhere around that has great deer hunting, it always involves great neighbors. So that's just something to learn. So I guess from this hunt to end my season, good learning experience from the shot. Sometimes you just have to go get them. Sometimes bad shots happen, and it pays off to have good neighbors. So anyway, we still got a few weeks left. After Dad and Chase found him yesterday, I guess I owe Dad a deer, so we gotta go try to find something for Dad to get after. Anyway, enough with the talking. I'm sure Miller's back there. He's groaning. He's getting tired. Czar's gonna be mad because the windmill's squeaking in the background, and we gotta go clean a deer. So until we see you next time, bow hunter die.
Well, if we're ending the season, Justin, getting ready for season 15, what better way to end it on a bigger buck than either one of us have shot?
Thanks for the reminder.
In
Ty.
many years, possibly.
Ever. Thanks for the reminder, buddy. Man, interesting hunt, right? I think as a whole, it's one of those things. And sometimes I almost feel bad for Clint because it's like, after you've killed...
Feeling bad for Clinton.
Yeah, well,
Where's
it's
this
like
going?
after you've killed a bunch of big deer over the years, it's almost like there's an expectation of that you kind of have to continue to live up to every year. That's why I never kill big ones. I set the standard low, and nobody expects a whole lot from me. When you're Clint, like, people expect a lot from you, and like it or not, that pressure is kind of always there. You feel that, right? Whether it's from the viewers, whether it's your family, friends, whether it's, the other guys on the team.
Well, you're the big buck killer.
Yeah, you're the guy that kills the big deer.
You're the guy.
So it's like...
It's true.
Sometimes it's nice to not have all of that pressure. And, in Clint's case, everything worked out exactly the way he anticipated it to work out. The deer came out.
I'm going to argue with that just a little bit.
I'm going to say all the way up until the shot, right? I mean, the hunt itself, this is one of the rare cases where having cell camera data led him to that animal, for sure. He probably wouldn't have hunted that night. He was super busy at work. He had other things going on. It's right around the holidays. But all of a sudden, boom, cell camera picture at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning,
that
late
buck's
season.
In the area.
That buck is close. He is not going far before he lays down. So he's around. The chances are high. As Clinton said, he was nervous. He goes in there, and everything's going as planned. Plenty of daylight. The deer comes out. He's calm. He's feeding. It's just everything you could want until the arrow is released, and then you go from that highest of highs to just that immediate lowest of lows of like, oh man, it's just, we've all been there. And that feeling is just the worst feeling in the world, I think, as a bow hunter.
Well, Justin, you're 100% right. I mean, anyone that cares about what we do and is passionate about what we do, that is 100% the feeling for sure. And it's a feeling that people like me and you and our team members have to live with, because we are documenting all this stuff. We are putting all this stuff out there to the world. And you know what? There's plenty of times you see, keyboard warriors and people posting pictures of their deer, and there's a whole story about that harvest, but you never see that when you just see the photograph
for sure.
with the big buck.
You could see the photo of somebody with a big buck and have zero idea what the story behind it is. So yeah, I mean, it takes some courage to put your failures or your subpar performances out there, for the world to micro analyze everything that you did and sit back and judge you. But in his case, thankfully enough, it turned out well. They were able to recover the animal, and this is one of those cases, and I think Clint did a pretty good job of explaining it. Like, not all hits are created equal. So we talk about, when in doubt, back out. Yes, I think that's the majority rule, especially if you've got a shot that's further back. I think when you start looking at those shots that are forward or low, or the ones where you're like, this isn't in the cavity, it's not in, the paunch, gut area, this is a muscle meat hit, but obviously there was enough blood for a long enough period of time.
A lot of blood.
Where you knew that, like, hey, we got a vein, we got an artery, there's something that's bleeding, and the only way we're going to get this deer is to continue to push it.
Yeah.
And that's what they did in this particular case. So, and this is one of those things I think you learn from years of experience. For the younger people watching this, they've probably heard us and other people beat that, when in doubt, back out phrase into their head, that it's like,
yep.
sometimes you don't know when is the right time to push and when is the right time to wait. I think
That comes with experience.
that does come with experience, and it, not just yourself, but maybe the people you surround yourself with.
Totally.
In Clint's case, he's there with all of his friends, his family. They got, I don't know how many guys out there looking for this animal, and they'd had enough experience between all of them to make the right decision. And in this case, keep pushing that deer, force it to bleed, and as fate would have it, I feel like in my case it wouldn't have ended that way. But in Clint's case, it ends with his dad of all people finding the deer, and they get to call, hey, we got him.
Yeah.
And it was cool. They waited for him to get there and walk up on the deer, and it was a heck of an animal. So I mean, what a it's not perfect in the sense of if it's the perfect shot and the deer dies on camera. I think Tyler Recker's hunt, but it is perfect in the sense that the adventure that those guys went on and the camaraderie that they built during that day of being out there. I get it. It wasn't the perfect shot, but that experience, that's something those guys will remember, that they'll cherish. I think back to my youth, and some of my best memories and experiences were doing those types of things, going on the wild goose chase with my buddies, my dad, whoever, and when there is a happy ending to it, I don't know. It's just one of those things you're always gonna remember, for better or for worse.
The only thing I want to talk about just for a few seconds is an unhappy ending, real quick. Not that we want to end on a downer here, but when you first started talking, Justin, after you watched this hunt, there's that lost footage piece component that I just want to bring up because you and I saw it.
Sure.
Clinton was lucky enough to be in a tree stand and have this buck come right up to a decoy. I saw the footage. I mean, he filmed it on his phone, and unfortunately, whatever happened, you gotta love technology. Sometimes it acts up, and the footage was lost. But I saw the footage with my own eyes.
Yeah, I mean, we have the video that he took on his phone.
But I mean, seeing that buck come up and getting close to that decoy, and then freaking out at the last minute and taking off, was just wow. I mean, you want to talk about the ultimate hunt. Well, and he was this close to pulling it off. Oof.
Yeah, and
still wins in the end, though.
Yeah, I mean, in deer, to a certain degree, you can watch their body language as they're approaching a decoy, and when you get one that's usually, he's licking his lips, he's doing kind of that sideways walk, he's bristled up,
yes.
He is locked in on that thing, and as the hunter, you're like, dude, here we go. This is it. This is exactly the behavior that I'm looking for. He's committed to that decoy. It's all but over with, and he had the deer at I think under 15 yards.
Dude, it was right there.
And just wasn't the right angle, and he's waiting, and all of a sudden that deer, for whatever reason, whether he caught a whiff of something, didn't like something he saw, it doesn't matter what it was. He went from ready to fight to just boom. And it was weird because he didn't leave. He didn't blow out of the county. He only ran 200 yards, maybe less, and stopped and then just was feeding out in the field. It was a very weird thing, but yeah, I mean, in Clinton's mind, it was a done deal. And that was, I think, late October. That was right before I had gotten down there to hunt. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And to be able to get a second chance, 2 months later, I mean, that's pretty
after
impressive.
the gun seasons. I mean, a lot of times that just doesn't happen. And I mean, and a lot of times those bow hunters, when you start pulling out those decoys, right? You're looking for this elevated experience. You're looking to do something different. I did it this year and a couple of times, with that one big buck that I was chasing. I know that near the end of the season, you were pulling out a decoy and you were using a decoy a little bit more. I remember you sending me that one photo. I think you had I don't want to misquote this. Was it 3 or 4 different little bucks come up there? I mean, it's where's the big one?
I used my decoy a lot this year. I have a personal goal. I want to kill a buck over a decoy at some point in my life. And I keep saying, I can't kill one over a decoy if I don't put the decoy out.
It's true.
So I used it a lot this year, but it did bite me in the ass because I had one of the bucks that I was looking for. It was probably a mid-140s 10-pointer. I had him do exactly what I thought he was going to do. All of a sudden, I look up. Here he comes. I'm like, sweet. The decoy's 15 yards. He sees that decoy, and he was like, literally turned around and trotted off the other direction. So I was like, gosh, dang it. He was coming my way, too. Whether he would have made it there or not, who knows? But I mean, with decoys, they can be hit or miss, right? But like I said, you can't kill one over a decoy if you don't put it out. So I'm
gonna keep trying.
not stopping anytime soon.
I got the same goal you got, so I'm gonna keep trying too. But with that being said, this will most likely be the last hunt of the season. We've got a bunch of does.
Be the last buck hunt.
Yeah,
we'll probably do a doe whack fest video. here coming up, because who doesn't like watching a bunch of does get shot?
I think we need to put the footage up there. So let's go ahead and make sure that we follow through on that. Until next time, Justin, which will hopefully not be too long, we want to bring you up to date. So in the next show, we're going to bring you up to date what we've been up to, because although there hasn't been a lot of shows, we have been awfully busy this year.
Absolutely. So we will see you guys next time right here on Bowhunter Die.
All right, well, good morning and welcome to the show. It continues here. So we jumped him. What's up, Red?
I'm finding Whitley's stuff.
Okay.
Oh, I need a coat.
Very good coat. Cut, take two.